is dripping out of my mouse. How did that happen? I was waving around the glass that I thought was empty, and a little drop flew up and landed right on my mouse. Not good. So, as I am toying with my mouse trying to fix it, and now it is on my retarded desk. I love my mouse pad. I do have a Razer Goliathus Control Edition, which is awesome mouse pad, and my desk just feels so sticky, and I'm not going to tell you why it's sticky, but it feels like it's sticky for some reason. But it looks like there are 3 roaches sitting here trying to scout, and this base, oh wow, it looks like we're going to see a double high yield from both players. Looks like this probe is going to pick off, though those units probably going to turn around and shoot it. No, they are not. Look at this. That was quite weird. It looks like there was 5 zealots up there, 2 Lord, but 4 of them were actually hallucinated. So maybe that was just a ploy to attack the hallucinated ones, but it looks like he did actually go for the real one. Oh, those are actually changelings. Oh, sorry, not hallucinations. They have the same color. Those are changelings, so those were actually Lord's little characters there. So he did actually go for the correct one due to his own decision. Oh my god, look at all these stalkers. So, I will take it off the income tab. Let's take a look at units. So, combat units. Our matchup is going to be, at the moment, 25 Zerglings, 3 Hydras, and 4 Broodlords. And don't forget the 27 Roaches versus 34 Stalkers and 4 High Templar. So, looks like he's going for a drop. But these stalkers, especially being supplemented by more and more at each second, which it looks like he is hurting for minerals a little bit. Looks like he did also bring in 9 zealots, so that is quite a bit if he can use them correctly. Oh my god, my mouse is tracking weird. I hate this desk. Oh god, it looks like the battle is about to happen when I am trying to dry off my mouse pad on my leg so that I can use it again. It looks like it is dry, commentating my own... Okay, so it looks like I am going to use my mouse pad again, actually, because this desk just sucks, and it looks like there is a lot of units going down, and it looks like I'm saying it looks like a lot, and it looks like there is a drop of only like 4 units, so it looks like this is a diversion, probably going to call KiWi back, make him blink into his main, while all of the Zerg units can just pretty much pile into his base into the front door, which it looks like that's actually not the plan. Curious as to that decision. Looks like it was just maybe to harass, and he did successfully split these units from the zealots. Maybe probably the main motive of that was to get a look, or maybe just feed some Zerglings to the meat grinder, because they're useless when you want to use your supply for other things, which is a pretty common thing for late game Zerg, because they are limited to undersupply, just like everybody else, unfortunately. So they end up with Zerglings and Roaches filling up that 200, so they cannot make Broodlords and Hydras and awesomeness. So, no Ultralisk so far. Oh, that's too bad. Let's take a look back at production so we can... Oh my god, Ultralisk. 5 of them with the plating producing. So it looks like there's still going to be 5 changelings that are lasting forever on this Zelnaga Watchtower, and it looks like that Stalker has to kill them, and he's going to do it one by one, but all these Zerg units are moving up. They're going to be able to stop the Stalker, but they could be pinched on the top of the ramp. You don't want to be attacking down the ramp with Zerglings. Looks like he attacked maybe a little bit early, and those units did pull back just in time there. And it looks like there are a lot of Roaches here, not so many Hydras or Broodlords. So those Roaches can be countered amazingly by these Stalkers, but it looks like there will be, me saying it looks like again, but there are probably some Ultralisks coming. Let's see those units. There are 5 of them in production and none of them on the field, so those Ultralisks will really make the difference, because they will be able to get on top of these Stalkers, which basically what Lord needs to do now is he needs to preserve this force for just a little bit more and kill these Zealots, because once the Zealots are gone, he will have an easy time with those Ultralisks. Looks like he's going to get his Broodlords picked off. Definitely don't want that to happen, because that could have definitely saved the Zealots' fire. 4 Broodlings. It looks like he is going to lose 2 of them so far, maybe a 3rd or 4th one going down, if this attack is still concentrated by KiWiKaKi. And if KiWiKaKi can come back from this, it would be amazing. So it looks like Templar moving forward, Miststorming, nothing there, and it looks like all these Broodlords are going to go down possibly. It looks like one is actually going to lumber away, and it looks like these Overlords are ready to attack, but they do not have any units in them. Looks like there's the first Ultra, so now you know what KiWiKaKi is thinking. KiWiKaKi is thinking, I just saw an Ultra, and that is not good. That is exactly what he's thinking. He's thinking, I wish I would have saved those Zealots for later. He does still have 1 Zealot, so not good, but Ultralisks are basically good against Zealots, but not nearly as good as they are against Stalkers, and it looks like he is going to move up here in the back of KiWiKaKi, and KiWiKaKi has that that High Templar in the back. Not going to do very much in a Storm against an Ultralisk. Maybe even an Archon could do a little bit more. Looks like he's going to storm right down the roaches. See, doing just about 20 damage there. Not really much. Looks like his High Templar are going to be picked off by this attacking force. Another one turning down around and storming. Looks like he does have 2 left. Looks like he's just going to crack off storms and do as much as he can to this force. Blinking away with those stalkers. There's that amazing mobility I talked about, and he does have a few more of them here. Not sure where he's going with this. But what is very important is he did manage to kill the enemy's high yield. He is bringing in more units at his own high yield and may be able to hold it. So this could be the game to KiWiKaKi, interestingly enough. And if he can really micro these Ultralisks, he has so many, I guess you could say, he has so many guns on the top of this ramp. Look at all those Zealots. Zealots are just going to be so awesome with the Stalker cover. And all those Roaches getting stuck in the back, going to be able to help with the Zealots, but not going to be able to do as much as they should. All these Stalkers firing this huge arc here. Looks like they just got such an amazing convex, I don't know, I forget which is which. It looks like they're just going to be able to do such a ton of damage to these Ultras. All the Ultras are going down, and looks like these Roaches are just so incredibly outnumbered. They are all going to be fed into the meat grinder at the top of the ramp. All those Zealots dying just as KiWiKaKi should have probably planned, because, you know, you didn't really expect them to live that long against Roaches. Looks like these burrowed Roaches are going to turn around and head back up on the ramp. Maybe they will be a little bit more useful than I thought they would be at first. It looks like KiWiKaKi needs to move these units back up here, but maybe these Roaches will just sit here, and it looks like he's going to try and build on top of them. I'm not sure what that does to them, and he definitely needs these cannons here to be able to sight them, and it looks like he is bringing in more High Templar to storm maybe the ground, maybe if he sees that. I'm not sure. It looks like they are going to pop up. Looks like they're going straight for the High Templar. Are they going to go after the pylons or the Nexus? Looks like they just killed High Templar. Definitely not worth it in the grand scheme of things. Looks like it... Oh, why do I say that so much? But it could have been a lot better if you had used that on the Nexus, or even better yet, on these little probes. So, looks like... Overlords. It appears Overlords are here getting ready to be loaded, but not loaded exactly. Looks like these units are going to pop up, and I said it looks like again, but these units did pick off a Zealot, and they are running away. Looks like a a single Roach being killed. I will stop reacting to that. Next time I will just roll with it. A single Roach being killed. No Observer on the field yet. But cannons is all that KiWiKaKi really needs to protect this base, and that looks like it is going to be what he does. So... income is just amazing for KiWiKaKi compared to the Zerg player. He is blowing him out of the water. And I just want to see the time so bad, but I am not going to pull it up all for you guys, because I know so many people complain about that so much. They hate seeing the time. I actually kind of like it, but I do not like it when I am watching a cast. You know, like you're just kind of sitting there trying not to move your mouse so that you don't see the YouTube time bar, because you don't want to know that KiWiKaKi is going to win right away. And he may. I do not know the winner, so that was not a spoiler, just be warned. It looks like Minx's dog is sitting here. Minx really loves his dog. If he had nickel statues made of him in the middle of Metalopolis. So it looks like but these Stalkers are moving forward. Not Zealots here. No Zealots. Definitely need more Zealots. Zealots in the back. Zealots need to be up front. Looks these Ultras are just gonna be able to move forward and beat the crap out of these Stalkers. But these Stalkers, there's just so many of them that they're actually going to blink forward to the Ultras, just doing so much damage. But the Ultras are at 5 armor due to the chitinous plating upgrade and the normal armor upgrades. And it looks like he is going for ground weapons 1 for melee for the Zerg. And 3 more Ultras coming in. So maybe this could be a good time for KiWiKaKi to just go for the jugular and take out all the tech and all the infrastructure in the main. While all these units are sitting here trying to defend the economy. But it looks like he was actually going to push forward, trying to kill the army and get the GG. It looks like there is going to be 2 fungal growths on top of these units, going to be able to reveal the Observer. And he's not actually going to be able to pick them off, but it looks like there is a storm on top of these Ultras, going to do a little bit of damage, but not helping too much. Lots of fire from these Stalkers. Looks like they are going to be able to pick off at least two of these Ultras, but the Ultras are going to close in. And right now, what KiWiKaKi needs to do is he needs to retreat like he is doing right now, and he needs to go back to his base and make as many Zealots as he can, which it looks like with this awesome income and so many gateways that he has 13 of them, he is going to be able to spawn in 13 Zealots at a time over and over again until the attack is brought from Lord. So it may be a good strategy for KiWiKaKi, just maybe to even warp prism or just something to get in here and pick at the infrastructure. He could kill the Greater Spire, which is not being used. He could kill the Hive, more importantly. He could kill these buildings, stop the upgrading, and it looks like there's actually ground melee 1 done for the Zerg, but KiWiKaKi could prevent that in the future. And nothing really to be killed at the natural. The third base also has an infestor pit, which is really not that much. And where is the Ultra Den? I do see that force moving out. I will pan to it if anything starts to happen. But it looks like he's just going for that Zone Naga at the moment. He's going to see that there is a completely thriving expansion that he already knew about. And look at all these probes on the gas. There are 4 of them. 5, actually. 5 probes on the gas. Not a good situation. You want to have 3. 5 of them on this gas, and it looks like 2 maybe on this one. No, perfect 3. So there is the drop, and lots of Ultralisks in Overlords, which would be cool if they did like the Thor drop, where like the Ultralisk aren't, or the Overlord arms kind of like wrap around an Ultralisk or something, and then they could use them to kill air. That would be so awesome, an Overlord flying around with an Ultralisk in its grasp, just chomping all the air units. That would be the perfect defense against Phoenix. Hey, Heart of the Swarm. Hint, hint, Blizzard. But it looks like there is going to be a huge drop inside the base of KiWiKaKi. KiWiKaKi's infrastructure is going to be almost completely destroyed. There are just so many gateways here. And KiWiKaKi really not doing anything about it. He is bringing his force back. But these Zealots are actually, they are doing very good. They have legs. They are going to isolate this Ultralisk, but they are going to be faced with the Roaches, not the Ultralisk, which is bad. You want to pull them back and save them for the Ultralisk and let your Stalkers take out the Roaches. Looks like a perfect blink micro there, separating that little force and bringing them forward, pulling his Zealots back. Perfect against the Roaches. He does have the advantage here if he can preserve this base for a little bit longer. He should be bringing in more units, warping them in as fast as he can. But he is oddly not. Looks like he's just going for the upgrades at the moment as far as production, but it is kind of hard to juggle that micro and macro. Looks like these Zealots are moving in. He needs to move his Stalkers in behind him, especially this Immortal, which is awesome against Ultralisks. But he is kind of chasing the Zerg player a little bit back. He needs to drop these 2 more Ultralisks into the base. He definitely needs to do that. Looks like another Ultralisk going down now. He's down to 4 Ultralisks, which let's take a look at their health. He is down to 3 Ultralisks. Another one going down. He needs to delay, needs to bring these 2 Ultralisks in. I'm not sure if he knows that they are still in the Overlord. It looks like he is going to turn them around, and there are Zealots bearing down on this force like crazy. He's going to use the smoke stream to bring those units in, probably. He should maybe just fall back. Looks like his best bet would actually be to run away, which is what he's going to do. He's going to snap up 2 of those Ultralisks. Looks like he needs to get that 3rd one out, but he may just be jeopardizing the Overlord force. He needs to bring those Stalkers forward and kill those Overlords. Looks like he is targeting one, lucky enough, with an Ultralisk in it, and there goes another Ultralisk, dying with that Overlord, which there was an extremely small amount of Overlord blood. And now KiWiKaKi needs to get that force out of there and come back and kill this hatchery, because the hatchery coming up is not good for KiWiKaKi, because his economy will be almost matched. Because let's take a look at it. Actually, he needs to get some of these probes out of here. They're just really doing nothing. He does have a pretty good amount of saturation here, and that would actually beat his economy, because we would see Lord, I keep wanting to call him King, Lord on 2 bases plus his high yield, and KiWiKaKi on his high yield, which is quickly being mined out, and 1 meager base, which is being mined out. So KiWiKaKi really needs to prevent that expansion, and then he needs to close this game up, because he has a ton of money. He's bringing in a ton of money, but when that flow stops and his production is really challenged, he is not going to be able to do nearly as good. And definitely a good idea here. He has so many minerals that he can just throw down all these cannons, and that is very good, because now if the Zerg player tries to do that type of drop again into his base, he will be at such a huge... awesome burp. He will be at such a huge... He will be at such a huge advantage because of these cannons that he may actually be able to chase the Zerg away. So, wow, this game is turning out long. It may actually end up being a 2-parter even, which you probably already know that, because even though YouTube has cleared me for more than 15 minutes, they have not cleared me for more than 2 gigabytes, which is kind of counterintuitive to me. But most videos are under 2 gigs, so unless you are watching this in 480p, it is definitely a 2-parter, because this is just really long so far. It feels like it's a really long game. So lots going on so far, and it looks like he does have more High Templars, lots of them actually, a ton of them in this force, so it's 6, which for a force of this size, 6 High Templars is a pretty good amount. Archon Toilet Bowl should do it, but he does not have a, oh my god, he has a fleet beacon and a mothership coming in. What? This is so epic. This is my new favorite game of StarCraft ever. Hands down. This beats the one when Idra told that kid that he should apologize for playing Terran. This beats all the ones where Idra just totally flamed people. You know, this beats even the most epic ones from beta when units were completely imbalanced and just used to their highest effect and killed huge forces with small forces. So this beats all that because there are Ultralisks, which are pretty much the most epic Zerg unit. Broodlords are pretty cool, but they are the most epic. And there is the Mothership, which is hands down the most epic Protoss unit, and it looks like he's going to do something good with these probes. Not send them to mine, but he is going to send them to their death, which will provide him a little bit of scouting, but the motive is to clear up that supply, which he desperately needs to bring in more units. So maybe the best stance would be just not to kill them. There would be a lot of micro not to kill them, but it would be pretty cool. It looks like he could actually do a little bit of a probe attack, going to head up here, probably putting them on attack move. Looks like they are going to go straight for the drones, which is awesome. And they are attacking the drones. Let's see how many drones go down. It looks like 2 of them are damaged, but they are going to move on the Ultralisk now. So that would have been awesome if they would have killed a couple drones, and they actually almost did. But the drones are all going to live, and the probes are all going to die. So they are now in IR. Looks like he has another one sitting here doing nothing. Not good. And probes are probably going to be sent out of this base when they are finished mining. And he has so much resources. If I were him, I would definitely be throwing down about 10 more gates. And also another robotics facility. And also bringing in carriers. And of course, the mothership, which is what he is doing. Which I would love to see that Archon Toilet Bowl. If he could meld these units together, that would be my favorite. Oh my god. Oh wow. That is awesome. Wow. This is probably the best game ever. Looks like he is going to kill his own probe with cannons. Pretty cool there. Definitely want to kill that probe. Free up that one supply to bring in a, what did he bring in? Bring in a something. It looks like there's going to be a Templar, and he is going to meld it with this one to make another Archon. Oh my god, he is making so many Archons for this point in the game. He's got 2 more coming in plus 4 in the field. That will be 6. And then when you take the mothership and you throw that all into a vortex with Zerg units, oh my god, this is going to be so epic. This deserves a montage, maybe. So, it looks like the spine crawlers are moving forward with the overseers. Looks like he may just try and creep up to KiWiKaKi's base while he brings in his income. Looks like he is losing his base, not to KiWiKaKi, but rather to his own lack of mineral patches. Or the map's lack of mineral patches, maybe, which they are perfect actually, but he is running out due to his own mining, his deforestation. He should probably just move these drones up here to this base and get this base really kick-started, because there's really not that much coming in here. I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah, KiWiKaKi is matching his income with one less base, so not good. And KiWiKaKi's base will be mined out first. Both of them, though, getting very close to the end. So KiWiKaKi needs to push forward. Where's the mothership? You do not push forward without that mothership. I want to see this Archon Toilet Bowl so bad. And there it is. There's the mothership hulking across the map. Looks like he's going to poke forward a little bit just to take a look. Maybe to pull these Zerg units back from the spine crawlers. It would have been cool if he would have sent like half of them forward just to deceive him. Look at all those immortals. This force is just so awesome for killing KiWiKaKis and lords. And Lord is an awesome player so far. I do definitely love his playstyle, but this is just amazing. This is probably the only time I've ever rooted for Protoss against Zerg, because I am Zerg and I hate Protoss, just so you know. Sorry, Protoss players, but I hate the Protoss because they are just so epic at killing me whenever I face them. So you could call it envy. Go ahead and comment that it's not hate, it's envy. so that you do not unsubscribe from me. But definitely broodlords now. KiWiKaKi can see that there are broodlords. There was not an exploding hatchery or anything, and those broodlords are going to be able to kill these probes. But is it really worth it? These mineral fields had like 200 minerals on each, so maybe preventing like what? Like there's 6 of them, so preventing 1,200 minerals from reaching KiWiKaKi's bank, not really a priority when he's got 7,000 just sitting there waiting to be used. And Mothership covering all these units in her awesome cloaking field, and do the toilet bowl. Let's go. I just want to see this so bad. I want to fast forward it, but I'm not going to do that because I don't like to fast forward. The only commentator that really fast forward works for is Husky when he's doing his 4v4s, or Day 9 when he's just doing Day 9 stuff, which is awesome. He did get voted for best, I think it was like community input or something like that, but he definitely deserved that. Looks like the Immortals are going to be a little bit behind, but they are going to be able to throw down a ton of damage on these Spine Crows. All these units moving forward. Come on, do the Vortex. Mothership moving to the front now, clicking all those units. No Overseers here. One Overseer arriving in the back. Looks like there is going to be a Fungal Growth, which is going to reveal those units. Lots of storms coming down from the Templars, which were not melted, and you know, Lord has to see all these Archons, and he has to think, I am going to be in a toilet bowl in a second. He could bring in all these Ultralists, or he could bring in all these units over here, but it looks like he is actually not going to do it, losing a few of his units. And let's take a look at the unit step, because production is not that interesting. Looks like there are still 4 Archons, there are still 7 Ultralists, and the Ultralists are just doing so awesome in combination with this, sorry, Fungal Growth. I forgot what it was called for a second there, but the Fungal Growth going away, he is going to lose most of his detection. These Archons need to climb in with those Ultralisks, which it looks like they should in a second when his micro is a little less challenged by all that's going on. But another Archon going down now, so he is down to 3, so there will be no major Archon toilet bowl. Stalker's blinking forward, but maybe inadvertently actually blinking under these Broodlords, and if he moves his Mothership back right now, he could have a complete cloaking field, as the Overseer has been pushed away by the Mothership itself. Itself, whatever, but he should probably move it forward and cover these units. And here comes all these Ultras. Looks like there are 4 of them coming out now. And why isn't he cloaking all of his units? Very bad decision there, if you ask me. And that may be what loses this game for him if he does not prevail. And the Archon's kind of toilet bowling, not really though. And there is a Fungal Growth, which the Fungal Growth did help to review thanks to these infestors. And it looks like Lord may actually pull this one off, and this game may go on. Contrary to what I thought, that was not the bottom of the 9th, and it looks like this is going to continue forever. But I will continue to watch this forever because it is awesome. Look at that, the blue blood from the Immortals all over the ground there, which it looks like a badly tagged spray paint. Crypts are all over this map. It is a bad neighborhood. So Cannon's not doing much to the Broodlords. Looks like they are just going to damage on the Broodlings. So Mothership could move forward and help, but it is not going to. It's just too cool for that. So now is the time when we need to look at production, because there are 11 Stalkers on the field. There are Void Rays coming in. Void Rays awesome against Ultralisk, especially with that ability to charge up. Maybe more Stargates would be awesome. Probes now too. See, the probes really have nothing to do because there is no mining base for KiWiKaKi, so putting them in front could absorb a ton of damage because they are like what, 40 damage times a million. That's about 40 million damage they can absorb. So they should be absorbing quite a bit of damage if he puts them in front. So not much going on. Looks like they're just sitting there, and we're going to see Lord completely destroy this expansion, except for the cannons. Really no purpose in that, except for maybe preventing an easy retake of it. But there's like no minerals there. It's not even worse than the Nexus, pretty much. Let's see. Yeah, they're all down to between 100 and 200. Oh, there's one at 300. Maybe take that. But I really wouldn't do it if I were KiWiKaKi. And this is really cool because you never see games like this where every single base has been mined out and the players are just completely going at it with these awesome units. Almost every StarCraft game ends at 12 minutes, 13 minutes. And is just like completely shut down right off the bat. So, trying to keep talking. This reminds me of that game I cast a while back, which was actually a Brood War game. It was a TVT. I'll talk about it because there's really nothing else going on right now. But it was a TVT, and these guys just went battle cruisers. And StarCraft 1 battle cruisers were completely epic. And they just were pounding back and forth, shooting each other. And remember, they used to shoot those single one laser rather than all the little ones like they have now. So when you saw a lot of them flying back and forth, it was just completely epic. And the game lasted like an hour. My mouth was completely dry. It was my second cast that I actually uploaded. It's still up now if you want to check it out. It's not that good, though. I really wasn't that good back then. And then at the end of the game, one player just quit. It was close to the end. You could see who was going to win probably, but he just quit. So that's why I wouldn't recommend really watching it, because the guy just leaves, and I kind of cover up for it. But it looks like that's not going to happen here. These players are going to duke it out to the end. Looks like these units are going to head down the ramp right to these Stalkers and Immortals, but there is a pretty good advantage to our Protoss player. He is 3-3 with 3 weapons and 3 armor. Looks like the Broodlords are going to rain down a few Broodlings on him, and the Zerg player is also 3-3, but you got to keep in account that the Protoss player hasn't researched shield, so he is going to be a little bit behind. Looks like there is going to be a meeting of the two forces here, and the Zerg player wisely fungal growthing and then falling back and letting his Broodlords do the work. So Broodlords are going to take a storm, not too much damage done to them. Actually, it looks like it did do quite a bit to these Broodlords, taking about a fourth of their health. Just looking at the bar, probes did move forward, taking a lot of those Broodlings, taking away a lot of the force of this attack. Kind of adjusting my mic to get the best sound quality. I think it has been quiet the whole game. Not good, but I will edit that out. So it looks like the probes are still taking a ton. Like I said, 40 million damage just about. And this actually may be going to Lord because, oh my god, awesome. Where is he bringing those units to? Mass recalling them out. Looks like he is going to have time to salvage his force pretty much. Mothership, it looks like it's damaged, but why is that? There goes that layer finally showing. But he is going to have time to bring in units because even though he is not mining, he has so many minerals and everything built up, and it looks like he did just spend most of them. Not much gas, not going to be able to make any more Void Rays, not going to be able to make any more Immortals, and not going to be able to make any more Stalkers. But he can bring in a lot of Zealots, and Zealots are good against, not Broodlords, but they are good against Hydras, which is definitely what Lord needs. I'm sorry I did not cover Lord too much. Lord bringing in Hydras. Hydras are awesome against that unit composition that we are seeing coming out for our player here, KiWiKaKi. But against Immortals, the Humble Zergling is the best. He does not have that many of them. He did definitely bolster his force with them, bringing in a lot more than he had before. But he also has quite a bit of roaches. Taking a look at the units tab, he does have 23 of them, which why does it say there's 60? There's actually, I know that's all of his units. There are 60 in total pretty much, I guess, I hope, probably. Yeah, it looks like there's about 60 in total, and he's just grouping them all together on the one key. And let's actually take a look at their hotkeys, where we do see him separating his Corruptors, and his Broodlords definitely wants to do that. To really get that advantage there, where you have the units targeting the correct units rather than just flying blindly into the force. KiWiKaKi, let's take a look at his hotkeys. He does have one for his mothership, definitely wants that. He does have all of his combat units, including Immortals and Stalkers, on one key. Maybe not the best decision because you could separate Stalkers through the keyboard and have them ready to attack the Broodlords. But, you know, with players that are at this high of level, normally they can just do that stuff manually. Like, if we could actually see his mouse, and I put it on his cam in the video, you just see him going, like, all over crazy like this, probably. Just separating units and targeting them onto specific groups, because they are good like that. And this is really dangerous when you put a pro player at this situation where they do not have to worry about macro at all, and all they really have to do is micro. They can just do so much damage because they're not really caring at all about going back to their base, keying up all these units, hitting W, hitting Z. You know, they're not really worried about that. All they have to do is just direct these units. And, you know, Terran are actually probably the best to micro because you can see, like Marine King does, where they just put the barracks on one key and just hit that over and over again. And very easy to bring Terran units in. So sorry, Terran players, but I am going to call you out on that one. You have probably the easiest macro. Zerg macro is pretty easy too, though, because you do only have one building. I guess maybe Zergs. Shut up. So, mothership here, 3 Void Rays actually. Let's take a look back at the unit tabs, because there's not very much producing except for Corruptors for Lord. Lord is actually going to push forward, not waiting for those Corruptors. Impatient. And if he attacks this base, this could actually go to KiWiKaKi quite easily because of these cannons. The cannons will be able to shoot down Broodlings. They will be able to shoot down Broodlords if the Broodlords do push forward. And, of course, if he attempts any kind of drop shenanigans, all these units will be killed by cannons. Cannon's doing a pretty good job of keeping the Broodlings off, but Basically, the easiest way to describe how broodlings work is they do damage when they impact, and then they do damage with all their little scratching and clawing, which doesn't look that bad, but they do have big claws. So, even if you kill the broodlords immediately upon touching ground, you have 1,000,000 cannons just all focused on one point with 1,000,000 range on them, and they kill those broodlords as soon as they touch down. They are still going to be able to kill pretty much anything. So it looks like there are a few probes up front. He definitely needs them in the front. Mothership moving forward, making that a cool noise, which I'm sorry you guys cannot hear that. My sound card is also retarded. Kind of fits with the rest of the computer, but it looks like Void Rays are pushing up a little bit, and I am only hearing sound in one ear. Okay, good. It's back in both. And it looks like this is going to be the grand finale. Or not. The Zerg running away. God, come on, just fight. It looks like the Mothership moving forward. She's going to be separated from all the other units. There is no detection. The Overseer pulling up from the back. And it looks like there's just going to be so many units here. They're going to be able to do a lot of damage to Lord units. But Lord does have a pretty good upgrade. Wow, it's really slowing my FPS here. Looks like there is a Vortex hooking all those Broodlords in. That is going to be pretty much instrumental in this. And the Zerg is doing exactly what he needs to, diving all of his units in. So, what does KiWiKaKi need to do? He needs to get ready to fight like crazy. It's definitely going to give him an advantage because it's going to pull all these units out of fungal growth. He maybe needs to put some probes on top of there. But having his units close is a pretty good idea. Maybe not against roaches. I would say move your Immortals forward, which it looks like he did actually put one too close and let it fall in. But moving Immortals forward would be a great idea. Yet, and it looks like he is doing that because they do have shorter range than Stalkers, I believe. Let's take a look at range 5, and I believe these guys are 6. Yeah, and here comes the Vortex, completely falling apart, and tons of storms on top of the small group of units going to do a ton of damage. His Mothership moving in, doing as much damage as she can, cloaking a ton of units, and the Zerg force is just going to be pinned against the wall and completely killed. A lot of the times we don't see Protoss going for this round. Normally it's Zerg, and a lot of Broodlords are still alive though, but with the cloak they will be able to target a very small amount of units, which are actually behind other ones. So that'll do a great job. Zergling are also just fighting to the very end, and it looks like these Broodlords are going to meet a fiery death at the hands of these Stalkers. And a final storm just to rub it in his face. And now these players have almost no income, so this is going to be a very small force for Lord. Maybe drones could help, but he is going to have like 5 roaches against KiWiKaKi. And KiWiKaKi is actually, contrary to what I thought before, going to win. I am fairly sure that KiWiKaKi is going to win. And this was just crazy, where KiWiKaKi a few minutes ago was in a position where he was just having his main destroyed and being completely out-microed and out-macroed. I say out-microed, basically I mean there was a larger army on the field for the Zerg player. But KiWiKaKi just doing a great job of bouncing back off that and using this Mothership, which my last cast, I said, whoever that was, I believe it was KiWiKaKi, used the Mothership so incredibly effectively that I was surprised. But this just exemplifies perfect use of that Mothership and how it can be used just completely own these units. It looks like he is going to move in on the last expansion of Lord, which is not producing. Actually, there is an expansion here bringing in minerals, so it looks like Lord is the only one with 1 base. So, could use that, but really not going to be able to macro up a big enough army. Looks like the Queens and Roaches and a few Hydras are going to make the final push, all getting stormed. And KiWiKaKi is just going to deal with them like they are nothing. All those units going down pretty quickly, and it is time for Lord to give KiWiKaKi the little GG there and pretty much secede. Or, I don't know, I'm trying to do some Civil War reference there, but it looks like he's losing, and that's all that really, is needed to be articulated, if I can do it. And, a few Spine Crawlers doing a little bit of damage, maybe going to pick off an Immortal, but what's the point? Just, type GG and leave and take the loss of your ladder points, Lord. And I'm going to feel like a complete idiot if Lord does somehow pull this off. It looks like he does have 26 Zerglings, but still not going to win it for him. He is completely hemorrhaging at this point, and what I mean by that is like hemorrhaging is when you are bleeding pretty much uncontrollably, and there is no bandage over this open wound. Looks like he's bringing in an Overseer, and if KiWiKaKi can get rid of these Overseers, these Zerglings are going to have absolutely no lease on actually being able to attack this army even. And just taking a look, he does have enough gas for 1 more Overseer. So if he even wants to do damage, he has to get in that 1 last Overseer. And we'll he spawn it in? Taking a look at production, he is actually not spawning it in. He does need it unless he can single out the mothership. He does have a few corruptors on the field at the moment, so it looks like he may actually have some sort of a chance. He does have 2 of them, so they will be able to do a little bit of damage against the mothership. But a mothership and 15 stalkers and a 1 high templar and 9 immortals, most importantly, is going to do a pretty good job against any type of roach force, which why is he still making roaches? Zergling's definitely his best option. He's bringing quite a few of them in. He does have 17 on the map and 22 producing, 21 on the map and 22 producing. So, wow, he is going to have a few of them, and they are going to be able to do damage, especially in combination with that corruptor and the roaches. But this is not enough to kill a big Protoss force with a mothership. Maybe a Vortex would be awesome, but too bad there's no Archons for that toilet bowl. That would be awesome. I wanted to see that this whole game. So I will definitely be checking KiWiKaKi's replays, and even if it's a horrible game, I will watch it just to see if I can get a little clip of an Archon toilet bowl. And if you see a video posted on my account named Archon Toilet Bowl, you will know exactly what it means, and it is not me making some incredible modification to my toilet. Which would be cool, making a toilet that looks like a vortex. Oh my god, I'm getting way too nerdy here. He needs to push up this ramp to win, and it looks like he's just sitting at the bottom, sending a stalker in just to take a look, kind of wondering why Lord is staying in the game. Lord is probably wondering why Lord is staying in the game, but he does have a few roaches. He's got these corruptors and Zerglings. But the thing is, what's really going to kill him is detection. He's got 2 corruptors to kill a mothership, which has 700 health when it's fully charged. But at the moment, it does have about 450 health, 460. And he is going to have to kill that with 2 corruptors, all the while under stalker fire. Or he's going to have to bring in an overseer with gas that he does not have. So it is GG for him. It is completely over. He has no chance unless KiWiKaKi just pushes forward blindly without bringing his mothership up. He will be able to do some damage if that does happen, but KiWiKaKi will be able to fall back so quickly, especially with Blink to his mothership. It looks like he is going to see that force, and he is going to fall back, and let's see some cloaked units. Drone heading out, maybe going to make a last-ditch expansion, but not enough minerals. Looks like this is definitely the final battle. Units surrounding all these Protoss units, but it is not going to be enough because these Protoss units just falling back. And it looks like he's even going to do a Vortex for good measure, make it a little bit easier to pick apart this force. And those 2 Corruptors doing damage to the mothership, but taking it to about half shields. And then they are going to die if they are targeted by KiWiKaKi, which KiWiKaKi definitely needs to target those Corruptors and the Queens to kill them all. And kill them all is probably the best strategy. And it looks like he's actually even going to send in a few immortals. Not a good idea. You do not want the Zerglings directly on top of the immortals. And there is going to be, let's put it on units tab because there is absolutely no production left for either player. Even though KiWiKaKi has somehow mustered up enough gas for a sentry, he's not going to produce it, but he does have enough, I believe. And it looks like there are the storms on top of all those units. That has just been the greatest use, as putting all those units into a small confined space and storming them. Which it looks like he's going to let a few of his units out from the cloak, and as soon as he kills these 2 queens, it is completely and utterly GG. There is no way around it once these queens are dead, and there goes the last queen, along with all the forces of Lord, and Lord giving the haha. So Lord, I'm not sure if he's even pro. This may have been a ladder game. Lord was very good. Anyone who can stand up to such a player as KiWiKaKi, and that's what we're all thinking. Mothership's so sick. But anyone who can stand up to a player such as KiWiKaKi for, let's see, how long was this? Because I feel like I've been casting for an hour. And wow, that's 53 minutes. I should have checked that before I started. But any player who can stand up to KiWiKaKi for that long is awesome, and he did a great job of it. And I am almost at my max for Fraps. Fraps is probably overwriting everything. Asking myself, why is my hard drive so small? But thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. I need more subscribers. And thank you for watching. Good night.